Workers are on strike. And when I say like, you'll be like, okay, well, which workers, right? Do you mean like coal workers? Do you mean car manufacturers? What do you mean? I just mean workers. Right now, whether it be the people working for Kellogg's, whether it be the people working in the media industry, whether it be the people working for John Deere, whether it be many different types of workers are on strike across the nation. Now, there's a few reasons why this is going on. A lot of it has to do with working conditions. A lot of it has to do with forced overtime. A lot of it has to do with them wanting an increase in pay and a percentage increase every year when it comes to dealing with inflation. A lot of it has to do with the fact that many of them want to spend more time with their families and just deal with their basic human needs. But on top of a lot of this is a general trend in the American economy right now that there is a squeeze on jobs. Specifically, businesses are complaining more and more of them having a hard time trying to find workers. That right now, the job market is not favoring the business. Now, historically, what this means is that unions get more power, is that unions then are able to organize, and then workers are able to get paid more because businesses have to pay more to get workers when there's a squeeze on how many workers that are available to you. Now, you would think that a free marketeer would be happy about the situation, right? Because this is supposed to be the time when workers get to reap the benefits of their labor. They're like, okay, we get higher wages, we get more time with our families, we get to organize, we get to do all these things. But what you're seeing is a panic in the business world, which is expected, but also a panic for many politicians who are scared in favor of the business world and trying to find every single way to get as many people to go to these jobs with subpar conditions as possible, whether it be cutting back on unemployment, whether it be trying to cut back on COVID benefits that are needed to reopen the economy and help people struggling during the economic recession that COVID caused, or any of the or any number of things on trying to undermine that section of the workforce. Now, we're going to watch a short video about how the tight job market is triggering more of these strikes before going into specific instances when it comes to John Deere. I would go through the Kellogg's workers as well, but there's so many instances of this happening that I just can't cover them all.
And it is just appalling that they would treat you as heroes and sheroes and not pay you accordingly.
New York Attorney General Letitia James cheered on striking workers outside a Buffalo hospital over the weekend. The Democratic official said she found it appalling that their employer, Mercy Hospital, wouldn't raise their salaries.
And I stand with workers who represent the middle class, which is being hollowed out. And I urge this hospital to negotiate with them in good faith and put them back to work.
From hospitals in upstate New York to tractor manufacturer John Deere in Iowa to Kellogg's cereal and food plants in Michigan and Nebraska, thousands of workers are off the job and on strike across the United States demanding higher pay.
Really doing what we've needed to do, standing up for ourselves, standing our ground.
According to the Cornell University Labor Action Tracker, at least 176 strikes have been launched so far in 2021, fueling much of it rising costs but stagnant wages. Many union organizers say their members were deemed essential during the COVID-19 crisis, but treated as though they were disposable by profitable companies.
Me and my brothers and sisters with the union have all been here since the pandemic started. We've been working the 12-hour shifts.
Jason Schultz is a forklift driver at a Kellogg's plant in Omaha who went on strike at the start of October. The union said the company proposed cuts to benefits and vacation pay.
I mean, we gave them everything we had, and now they want to take it away from us.
Kellogg said its compensation and benefits for U.S. cereal plant employees were among the industry's best. At John Deere, 90% of the hourly workers voted to reject the company's offer of a new contract last week and went on strike. Unions are hoping that they have additional leverage as companies face severe labor shortages. A record number of Americans quit their jobs in August.
I think it's time that we can tell them what we want.
Helping fuel hopes of labor leaders, their view that they have a staunch ally in the White House. President Biden welcomed union reps last month.
When unions win, workers across the board win.
One major strike that may have been averted for now, a union representing some 60,000 behind-the-scenes film and TV workers reached an agreement to boost benefits with production studios, but members have yet to vote on the new agreement.
Okay, so 176 strikes so far. It's spiking. Not all instances, obviously. Like I said, the people working in the media industry, they averted a strike, but they're using the leverage that this tight market has to try to get the benefits that they need. But also, can I just say that let's say you're deemed an essential worker and you work through COVID. You decide to spend time away from your family. You do forced overtime. You deal with all of this nonsense. You deal with it all. You get through it. You get to the other side of it. And your reward, cuts in vacation pay and cuts in pay in general during a tight market for U.S. jobs. I don't know how they didn't think this was going to happen. Now, let's go through. By the way, if anybody has that Reddit page where it has workers just quitting from their jobs, that's been popping off recently because there has been a spike in people quitting from their jobs, which has only made the market even tighter. Here is some more information that I'm going to put in chat about the specifics quickly. But I want to get more into the John Deere case. So, on the first day of the strike, on the John Deere strike, where they were using non-union workers to replace the UAW members who had been working on the factory floor for, well, forever, it wasn't even 8 a.m., and they already had ambulances going into the factory. It's not even, I'm not saying like it was noon. It's not even 8 a.m., and they're calling 911.
Oh.
Not even 9 a.m. Brutal. Not only that, but on day one as well, a non-union salaried worker crashed a tractor inside the plant. And this is just day one. It's now been 3 days, and there's been more reports of more instances like this. Why is this happening? Because if you have people who have been working union jobs for the better part of 10 to 15 to 20 years, you have experience, you have job training, you know what to do, you have a working relationship with the people around you, you all know your strengths and weaknesses, and you're able to work together as a team. And you've not only been trained well, but you have experience from being on the job. And so if all those people who are organized leave the workplace during this tight market, they're not going to hire people. Who are they going to hire? There's nobody to hire. It's a tight market. And so they had no option but to get people who traditionally don't fulfill these jobs from inside the company, a lot of you could say white collar workers, and they made them fulfill these jobs. And this is the result you get when you have people who don't know what they're doing fulfill these jobs. And I wish I could find it, but oh my gosh, if somebody in chat could find it. There was this instance of truck strike. I forget exactly. Here it is. A John Deere workers. Actually, there was a truck driver who was coming to this company, and they were like, obviously the company is calling as many truck drivers as they can, because this, see if they can fill all the positions that the John Deere workers are striking from, because it's a tight market. They don't got many options. This truck pulls up to these workers. And this is what happens.
Gonna take it. No! No! We're not gonna take it! Don't do it! Come on, man!
And he just keeps driving. He sees they're on strike. He blares his horn. And he just keeps driving. One less worker to help break the strike. Look. Right now is probably... We're seeing some more union activity than we've seen in a very long time. And we're seeing more strikes than we've seen in a very long time. And this is due to a multitude of factors. What I'm hoping is that the more media attention this gets, the more this happens, the more workers actually look to unions to see the strength of a union and see the benefits that come with being a unionized worker and saying, hey, I think that's for me. Not only do I think that's for me, I think that's for my entire workplace. I'd love to see that. The odds of that happening? I don't know. But it's hard to say that it's not going to be appealing when now the top 1% of all U.S. earners now hold more wealth than the entirety of the middle class, which were the workers that made up the unions. So, we'll see as this continues to develop.